Now we want to use reference angles to evaluate a non-acute angle, such as this one. The negative 210 degrees is not an acute angle. How do we evaluate the cosine value of this non-acute angle? So first of all, we want to find its reference angles. But in order to find its reference angle, we want to decide the location of this angle. Is this in second, third, or fourth, or quadrantal angle? So let's try to decide. It's not a very friendly range. This is negative, right? We want to convert it. We want to find another angle that is coterminal with this angle. So first of all, we want to find an angle that is in this range between 0 degree and 360 degree. So negative 210 degree, if we add a complete rotation, we get positive. So this will result in a positive angle after we add a complete rotation. That is an angle which is a 150 degree angle. The good thing is that this 150 degree angle is coterminal with negative 210 degrees. And this 150 degree angle is in this range, and we can quickly decide it is in the second quadrant. So let's look at the picture. So given angle is negative 210 degrees. As you can see, this negative 210 degrees, right? This in standard position, go clockwise. Yeah. So if we don't know immediately where is the angle, where's the location of the angle, then we can always add a complete rotation to make it positive, right? So this is how we do. So we add one complete rotation, and then we end up at a positive angle. And we know this positive angle is coterminal with negative 210 degrees. So the good thing about the 150 degrees, it is positive and it's not too positive. It's still less than 360. So quickly we know it is in the second quadrant. Yeah, you see it's positive, but it's less than 180 degree, right? So it's in the second quadrant, but more than 90 degree. So this angle in the second quadrant. And for the angle in the second quadrant, its reference angle is found to be 180 degrees minus 150 degrees. So 30 degree angle is the reference angle. Now, once we find the reference angle, then the goal is to find cosine value at the given angle. So we want to find cosine value at negative 210 degrees, which is same as cosine value of 150 degrees, because 150 degree is coterminal, right? It's the same location at of the negative 210 degrees. And this, but from 150 degrees, we can easily determine the reference angle. So a reference angle of 150 degrees, 30 degree angle. But be careful, because 30 degree is acute. So cosine 30 is always positive. So we know that cosine 30 is always positive because 30 is acute. But cosine 150 degree is not necessarily positive. Remember, 150 degree is in the second quadrant. So cosine value is negative, right? For second quadrant, cosine is negative. So we must put a negative sign here. So let's continue. What is cosine 30? Cosine 30 is square root of 3 over 2 and with a negative sign. So this negative square root of 3 over 2 is the cosine value of negative 210 degrees. So to summarize what we have done for this original problem, it's the evaluation of a non-acute angle, is first of all, we want to determine its location in which quadrant. So by adding or subtracting complete rotations until we find a coterminal angle that is between 0 and 360 degrees. So we can easily know which quadrant it is in. So then we can quickly find the reference angle of the coterminal angle. Yeah. So after we find the reference angle, then we always get a positive function value, right? So we have to address the sign for the original problem. Original problem is cosine of an angle that is in second quadrant. So cosine value, as we already know, for the second, if it's, you see this terminal side, if you pick any point on the terminal side, the x must be negative, right? Cosine, which is x over r, x is negative, so cosine has to be negative. So a quick review for cosine value. It has to be negative. So then we put the correct sign for the given problem. Now we can look at one more problem. Here is an angle 660 degrees, and we want to find tangent of the angle. Tangent 660. So this angle, okay, so 660, can we find a least positive angle that is coterminal with 660 degrees? Okay, so first, if you subtract a complete rotation, right, you get an angle. So that will be 300 degree. So yeah, we know that 300 degree is a least positive angle that is coterminal with 660 degree. Okay, so after we subtract the complete rotation, then we make this problem a little easier for us because we know 660 degree is coterminal with 300 degree. That means they are at the same location. So the tangent value will be the same. So the tangent 300 degrees, well, 300 degree is in a fourth quadrant. Then next we find the reference angle of 300 degrees. So you see the 300 degree? Okay, so this is the reference angle, which is 60 degree. So now we are going to use its reference angle. So instead of a tangent 300 degrees, we use a tangent 60 degrees. So I write tangent, the reference angle. However, 60 degree is acute, right? So tangent value is always positive. But be careful, tangent 300 degree, this 300 degree is an angle in the fourth quadrant. Fourth quadrant. So in the fourth quadrant, tangent defined by y over x, y is negative. If the point in fourth quadrant, y is negative, x is positive. So the sign, the quotient is negative. So the tangent value is negative if the angle is in the fourth quadrant. That's why we have to put a negative sign. So tangent 300 degree is negative of the tangent 60 degree. So we start with the given problem, tangent 660 degrees. And then we want to convert this into a problem that is a tangent of a coterminal angle, that is 300 degrees angle, which is coterminal of 660. So afterwards, we use the reference angle of 300, which is tangent 60 degrees, but then address the sign, which is negative, because it's in the fourth quadrant. So final answer will be negative. What is tangent 60 degree? So square root of 3. Remember, tangent 60 degree is cotangent of 30, right? 30 is the complement of 60. So cofunction identities. Now if you remember cotangent of 30, then you can remember tangent 60. They are related. Yeah. All right, that is this problem. So quick summary. So for any angle that is non-quadrantal, then it must be in one of the four quadrants. And if it's bigger than 360 degrees, or if it is negative, then you can always find the least positive angle in that range of 0 and 360 degree range, so that it's coterminal to the given angle. Then afterwards, you work with the least positive angle to find its reference angle. After you find the reference angle, then use the trig function values of the reference angle and then address the sign, right, based on the location of the given angle. So now we can think of some simple, let's make up a problem like a negative. Suppose I have a negative 60 degree. Well, this one is easy because you can quickly determine it is in the fourth quadrant, right? But still, if you want to find the cosine value of negative 60 degree, and then what is the angle that is coterminal with negative 60, and it's the least positive. So you can add a complete rotation. That is, I want to change it. I want to find an angle that is least positive. So let me add a complete rotation to this given angle. So after I add, I see that it is positive now, right? Positive 300 degrees. So 300 degree is the least positive angle that is coterminal with the negative 60. So then now I want to work with this positive angle. So 300 degree, what is the reference angle of 300 degree? So as you can do a quick sketch, 300 degrees in the fourth quadrant, its reference angle is 60 degree. But we cannot just use cosine 60, right? Cosine 60 and cosine 300, they differ at most by a sign. We know cosine 60 is always positive since 60 is acute. But cosine 300 is non-acute. 300 degrees non-acute. It is in the fourth quadrant. The cosine in the fourth quadrant should be positive. So in this case, cosine 300 is, has the same sign as cosine 60 because cosine 300 is also positive. So we continue, we just use cosine to the reference angle, which is half. Yeah, so this is the answer for the original problem. See, for any negative angle or any angle bigger than 360, you can always convert it into some coterminal angle, the trig function at coterminal. So you can always find the least positive angle that is coterminal with the given angle. And then afterwards, you find the reference angle. And then you find you do the evaluation of the function at the reference angle. And then final step is to address the sign.